Good morning, everybody. Beautiful morning here in Les Sables d'Olonne. Great images that we saw there back in New York in that little introduction that we just saw. I am joined this morning, bright and early, by skipper Pam Lee. Good morning, Pam.
Good morning, Natasha. At least it's nice and sunny down in Les Sables. Oh, we can see them.
Yep. So we had last night, if you were watching live with us, we watched the live of Sébastien Simon on Groupe du Breuil. We also watched Thomas Ruyant on Vulnerable cross the finish line last night. He had to stay out on a buoy for the night because there was no more water in the channel for him to come in. Sébastien Simon was lucky enough that there was still enough water and he was able to come up into the channel. Right before that, we had watched Charal, Jeremy Bayou take third place and complete our podium. So now we have Initiative Coeur. She just crossed the finish line this morning, and so did Yoann Richomme. So Samantha got sixth place, and Patrick Arkea seventh place. It was a really, if you were glued to the tracker, yeah, it was a really nice little finish there. Yoann Richomme really had the lead for most of the time, but Samantha was able to steal that from him at the last minute.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing from both the sailors on what was going on board on this final, that last night, and how Sam managed to sneak in underneath at the last minute. It's really cool. What a lovely piece of racing.
Yes, they will reach the docks. If you stay with us, they will go into the channel, all three boats together, and then there will be interviews, talks with them that we will let you listen to, and we will do our best to translate. If they're in French, hopefully they'll have some words for us in English, all our international viewers out there. So Initiative Coeur with Samantha Davies on board, finishing in sixth place this morning at 6:48 a.m. French time, in 12 days, 10 hours, 48 minutes, and 29 seconds. She was 2 days, 7 hours, 3 minutes, and 59 seconds behind first place. So that is quite a lot for a transatlantic 2 days for these IMOCAs. If you have been following the race, you know that there was a low pressure that only Boris Herrmann, that finished in second place, and Charlie Dallin, who finished in first place on Massif. Those two, Team Malizia, Sea Explorer, and Massif, were the only two to hop on the front and be able to ride that low, and the other ones got stuck on that ridge that just kept on following them for a while. So here you go, the time of Sam Davies on this race. What a fantastic finish for her. I mean, after taking an excellent third place on the Transat CIC from Lorient to New York just less than a month ago, our British skipper finished this New York Vendée Les Sables d'Olonne solo, this race back across the North Atlantic, in sixth place this morning. She finished with a flourish, finally overtaking Yoann Richomme on Patrick Arkea, who was winner of the Transat CIC, which was the race that took them across the Atlantic to New York. The fleet had to divide into two. Some of them stayed in New York and the other one stayed in Newport, Rhode Island. So she overtook Yoann Richomme in the final miles to steal sixth place. You're looking at Thomas Ruyant from Vulnerable, who had to stay the night out there. Hopefully he didn't have to stay on the boat. I'm sure that the team got him off on the rib into a nice hotel, a good shower, a good meal, let him get some rest, and they probably took him back this morning nice and fresh we might see the difference between Thomas Ruyant, Samantha Davies, and Yoann Richomme once they hit the dock. We'll have to see how
Well,
much that
yeah.
night makes a difference on their face. No.
Well, I think Sam's going to be glowing either way. She's going to be absolutely delighted. And the cool thing about this finish is I'm just going back over the tracker now because, dare I admit, I was actually asleep during the night, not
Yes,
on the
thank you,
live
Pan,
tracker.
for
I
waking up and being
know.
with us this morning. Fantastic.
But I was not awake on the tracker as much as as much as we all are addicted to the tracker. But yeah, the cool thing about this is it really looks like Sam just took Johan with the speed at the last, which really shows that she must be really on top form. She must be fit because she's obviously been able to keep her head and her cool and her fight until the very end because that's really a last minute takeover and it's not, it doesn't look like last night they were jibing in, as you said, to Thomas Ruyant, but this looks like a little speed race, a little drag race to the finish. So well done, Sam. I think she's going to be glowing even without this. She definitely did sleep a wink last night.
Yes, this our French-based Brit proves she is in great shape ahead of the Vendée Globe, which starts on the 10th of November, right here in the same place. They will be going through the same channel that you're watching now, which is a very mythical place. Of course, it's very different in November. People have their jackets on, and who knows what the weather can be like during those months. Sometimes it can be beautiful, sometimes it can be treacherous, but those two sides right there um, are just filled with people and banners. And there was actually quite a few people last night. It was raining when Sebastien Simon entered the channel. It was dark, and there were still, you could hear people banging pots and pans and people honking. Of course, he's from there, so all of his friends, his project is based there, so they were probably all there to welcome him because of course he after nasting and breaking some ribs in the Retour à la Basse race, he really fought hard for this finish, and it was kind of like the surprise of our top five there.
Yeah, and I think there's probably a really strong psychological side to this finish here because all the skippers who are going on to do the Vendée in not too long now, I mean, they'll be visualizing and imagining coming back into this finish after having gone around the globe. So I think finishing strong here in terms of, the psychological side for professional athletes is going to be a really strong bonus as well. They'll really be getting their heads in the zone for the next time that they get to come in here at the end of a race.
Yeah, so basically what you're watching now is vulnerable Thomas Ruyant. He finished in 5th place. They're actually going to enter the channel in the order in which they finished the race. You can see Initiative Coeur, our bright red boat, with Samantha Davies right behind in 6th place. And then she will be followed by Paprec Arkea, Yoann Richomme on 7th place. There you have the team on board. And he
Because
looks
it's quite
pretty
a long
fresh there.
channel. Yeah, quite a long channel up. I've done it up and down a few times in the Figaro, and with the tide and the current as well.
Yeah, and
I hope
so
someone bought her
Thomas
a nice pain
Ruyant,
of chocolat and a coffee.
yeah, Thomas Ruyant no longer needs to remind us that he enters every race to win. He pushed hard. Um, he is in the same league as Charlie Dallin, Jeremy Bayou, and Yoann Richomme, all skippers with basically an insatiable hunger for a win. He said, I
Mm.
quote him, "My clear objective is to get to the front," he confided at the start. Everyone is keen to show their teeth, he said.
Yeah, I think it's really been cool to see this top 10 group um, of the Amakas, both in the Transat across to New York and Transat back to see the kind of a mix around of places in two races, so consecutively close together. And yeah, all these experienced sailors. I mean, all these guys have done a Vendée before. They know the game, and when you've done it before and you're coming back for your second or your third run, you're only there to win, I think. So all these kind of top 10 sailors, well, the top five or so, is they're just going to be lining up, getting ready to go, as Thomas Ruyant says, showing their teeth.
Yeah. So
And
we
then
can
just
see
behind them is
Samantha.
Justine. It will be her first. It'll be her
Yeah.
first Vendée this year. So
Yeah. So we see Samantha Davies with her sign. If you're familiar with her project, um, she basically, for every click that she gets on any of her posts on social media, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, the sponsor gives €1 for every click, every like, every share to this organization that operates on children's hearts, children who come from mostly Africa, from places that they cannot get the care that they need. And with this race, the that's what the sign is that she's holding. They have saved 10 lives of children who need heart surgery. So they basically bring them to France, and they give them a heart surgery here, and then they go back to their families in France. It's a beautiful initiative for Initiative Coeur, which means heart initiatives in French. So 10 children were saved. Bravo to her. After starting out among that southerly group, Samantha has always been up with the main peloton, as we call it in French. On this race, she has required a constant high intensity. She has been fighting in close company with Richomme, like we said, over the recent days. And yeah, that should faction from passing the sailor who not only won the last race, the Transat CIC, but also won last fall the Retour à la Basse. There were both solo races. The Retour à la Basse was the first solo race since a while for these IMOCAs. And the Transat CIC at the beginning of this year was the second, and Yoann Richomme won both of those, and Samantha Davies was able to steal that sixth place, from Yoann Richomme, who came in on seventh place. And now we're watching vulnerable Thomas Ruyant that came in on fifth.
yeah, he wasn't. I mean, he didn't finish too long, but behind Sebastian Simone. So it was really that kind of. We had the first two, and then we had a little group of three led by Jeremy Boyle, and then well, initially we had Sam, Justine, and Johan, but then Sam and Johan managed to pull away from Justine, and we had those two coming in early this morning. Justine not too long behind them.
Yeah, we will be live for teamwork, Team SNEF, Justine Metro, who looks to be coming in 8th place. Then we have Medalia Piper and Biervalet Louis Burton are coming in behind. So you'll be able to join us for those as well. If I'm not mistaken, things change quite often with sailing. We have to go with the flow, go with the wind. Beautiful morning, beautiful images.
Yeah. Nice, flat, calm, and easy entrance to the channel after their battle. Fortunate for that.
Yeah, I don't
Sometimes the weather at
hear
that
the
channel can really
ambient
be.
sound. They haven't turned it on for us. What's going on? So I don't hear if there's any honking and screaming. Hopefully they'll do that so that we can listen to the interviews as well, and be able to translate. But if not, we'll figure it out technically here. But I'm sure
That
that
looks in
you
good
are
condition
listening
anyway.
to what's going on.
And I think most of well, I think they can leave Les Sables again from 9 p.m. this evening, I think. So I think any of the sailors who have arrived in today, the boats will be heading out again. This evening, heading home to unpack the race, unpack the boats, and next thing will be I think a breakdown, a little break for the teams, and then the final leg for the Vendée Globe. So yeah, these two races have been really, really important for all those final bits and pieces and performance and breakages. So we're all feeling for Sam, Thomas Ruyant's teammate, who should have been in this hustle, arriving in the Channel today as well, but unfortunately dismasted. So his poor team are going to have a lot of work to do. I guess a lot of the technical teams are hoping if these sailors sailed well and their boats sailed well, that it's, only small changes and little details to be made before the Vendée Globe.
So we're watching now Samantha Davies crossing the finish line this morning on a beautiful sunrise. She just really nailed the timing here. I mean, like we were saying yesterday, last night, if you were live with us at the wee hours of the night here in France, I didn't get much sleep there, but yeah, the skippers, of course, won't wait for anything. They will push hard until they cross that finish line, no matter what time it is. If the crew, the television is up or not. And Samantha, not only did she steal Yoann Richomme of that 6th place this morning, but she just came in at the most perfect time of the morning. Look at those images, just gorgeous. There she is,
Style.
happy safe. The moment she crossed the finish line, jumping up and down, she must be so happy. She's really, I think the ocean race, the boat, I mean, of course, this boat has really been optimized. The crew have done a fantastic job. She's had no breakages, nothing major that has made her have to, just not, yeah, she's just been
Oh,
performing
yeah.
super well. I mean, everything's been working out so fantastic for this team. Very happy for her and her team.
Yeah, they had their fair share of tough work the last few years, so definitely great that it's all, well, it doesn't really matter, does it, as long as it all comes together at the end and they're set up in the best position possible to head off around the globe in not too long. So yeah, congrats to the team and to Sam, because yeah, it really looks like they're in a good place.
So this is Les Sables d'Olonne, which is in the Vendée department of France, on the coast, the west coast of France. For those of you who do not know it, this is the home and port departure and arrival of the famous Vendée Globe, which is a race around the world, single-handed, non-stop, unassisted, and it's every 4 years, and it leaves from here. Les Sables d'Olonne goes around the globe and arrives back in the same place, and that is happening this year. So a very important year for this region, this city, this village, and for offshore single-handed racing.
Yeah, and of course it's even more special this year, I think, because the last Vendée Globe was in the height of COVID. So, it was a big struggle for the teams and for the spectators, for everything else. So really, the last Vendée Globe was a Vendée Globe with a little bit of a different atmosphere, I believe. So it's really super that we're here now, 4 years later, gearing up for the big one.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Images of this morning when Yoann Richomme from Paprec Arkea crossed the finish line. Here you have his card with his time. So he finished at 7 o'clock in the morning with 12 days, 11 hours, 11 minutes, and 19 seconds. He was 2 days behind first place and only 22 minutes and 50 seconds behind Samantha Davies. So that's how close this race was. And here we see images of him crossing the finish line this morning. Very close racing, exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, he's definitely one of the favorites for the Vendée Globe as well. So
I am dying
a
to hear
lot.
the interviews on the docks.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
wonder
for
what he'll
him,
have to say about the last
sailing
battle.
was first and foremost a hobby. The turning point came during a transatlantic race in 2000 with his father on the family boat. He didn't think much about competition at this point. He came to sailing late in life. He was a student at Southampton. He was going to study IT actually, but he changed his mind. He decided to become a naval architect. And because he was a sportsman and needed to occupy his weekends, he took to the water more and more, competing in his first Tour de France. With his diploma in hand, Yoann found his calling. It would be technical, the preparation, the weather, the adjustments. That's what makes him tick. He confesses to be maniacal obsessed with preparation, engineering, and analysis.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
definitely pays
So
off. He's
here
got a
we have,
fair list of accolades on his belt.
yeah, yeah.
King of the Transats. Not this time.
So his boat is a Pascal Conque and Antoine Coche collaboration. It was built in multiplast in Vannes, of course, and it was launched on January 2022. He has quite the palmares. He won the Route de Rome in Class 40 in 2022. While he was waiting for this boat, his IMOCA, to be built, he had a Class 40 built quicker and did the Route de Rome and won it. In 2021, he did the ocean race on a VO65. They got first place. He also participated with Team Holcim PRB in the last ocean race in some of the legs. So yeah, he's
Yeah,
quite the
and he also
sailor.
won the Route de Rome
Solitaire du
previously,
Figaro in 2019. Go ahead, Pam.
and he previously won the Route de Rome as well on the 2018 Pass 40, which is the boat that I sailed last year.
There you
So
go.
he's really known for his individual and unique design of the boat, particularly the Class 40s. He really kind of developed the central winch with all the halyards and lines leading down to the cockpit. So and you kind of know a Yoann boat and a Yoann Class 40 because he's kind of used the same model two times. So I haven't actually been on his IMOCA, but I'd love to see the comparison and if he bought some of the design features that he was able to play around with on the Class 40 up to his IMOCA. It'd be interesting to see because he's a really tall guy as well. So
Yeah, yeah, very
very
tall.
different
Yeah,
boat from Sam. So and that's what's really interesting actually. I think that a lot of the teams have been kind of working on the little details to customize the boats and make life on board better for the sailors. So you can imagine that's a very different thing to be doing for a big tall guy like like Johan, compared to Sam. So it would be super cool to go and check out the living spaces inside as well.
yeah. So if you are watching, joining us on YouTube on this live, we are watching the chat as well. So if you have any questions or any comments, any shout outs that you want to share with us, we are taking a look at those. So go ahead and feel free to do that, to participate with us on this live. Um, Thank you for tuning in. And if you're watching this on replay, which will be probably most of the case, um, because it is very early in the United States and, well, it's the middle of the night actually. and it's very early here on a Tuesday morning in France. Everybody's getting ready to go to work. There were several people that wanted to that I reached out to join me live this morning. There's Francesca Clapschi, who is just a little bit north of us with her new Ocean 50 project, who was heading to work. She has quite a busy morning. There's Abby Ehler, who also wanted to join us, but she's sailing. Um, Simon Fisher is also sailing this morning. Dee Kafari also wanted to join us, but she's also quite busy. So thank you, Pam, for answering my call. Sorry for waking you up, but super happy to have you here. We're watching Thomas Ruyant. He's going to do that little champagne shower. He's reached the dock now. Some of the other skippers are there to greet him. Did you take a glance at who that was? Oh no, that's okay. Yeah. That's Imoca class. Waiting to see if there's any skippers that will come this morning after being there last night to welcome them. That's sort of like the tradition. So let's see if we can hear this little interview in French, and we'll try and translate for you.
J'ai préféré l'entame de la transat jusqu'aux Açores, où il y a eu un peu de jeu. Un petit moment compliqué quand on s'est rendu compte qu'on n'allait pas pouvoir passer le front comme Charlie et Boris, mais bon, derrière on s'est réorganisé et puis on a régaté avec une flotte sympa, avec Seb, avec Jérémy, Sam, voilà, avec Yoann, Sam Davies. Donc c'est bien, on a fait un bon groupe dans le sud pour régater, s'amuser. Voilà, j'ai pris beaucoup de plaisir et effectivement la deuxième partie un peu moins quand même. Bon, j'aime bien être sur l'eau, mais faire 1500 milles de près, c'est pas non plus ce que je préfère. On n'a pas vraiment les bateaux faits pour ça. On a des bateaux qui aiment bien les grandes glissades, qui aiment bien aller vite. Là, on était dans un vent médium, une mer un peu casse-bateau. Pas très drôle, quoi. Bon, c'est comme ça, c'est le jeu.
Globalement, cette transat, elle a quand même été, vous l'avez répété tout le temps, elle a été très particulière. Tu l'as dit, ce début de course, il était intéressant, mais il était compliqué. Enfin, toutes les étapes, ça a été quand même.
C'est toujours compliqué. C'est sûr que c'est pas les conditions qu'on a tous espéré, imaginé, à débouler devant un front, traverser en 7 ou 8 jours. Bon, bah là, c'est un truc différent. On a beaucoup parlé des prévis qui n'étaient pas très bonnes. Oui, non, je sais pas trop au final. Ce qui est sûr, c'est on s'était tous projetés avec un scénario en tête qu'on n'a pas réussi à tenir. Tous les bateaux sauf 2, je crois. Et donc, c'est tout. Il a fallu. Ça a rebattu un peu l'écart. Il a fallu Je vous avoue qu'à ce moment-là, moi j'étais un petit peu perdu. Je me suis dit, mais ok, on passe pas le front, du coup comment on fait quoi? Où est-ce qu'on va? Qu'est-ce qu'on fait? C'est quoi le chemin? Enfin, on n'était pas du tout dans un mode avec un plan B quoi. Donc il a fallu refaire un peu se remettre dans un autre schéma météo. Et c'est vrai que j'ai eu 24 heures un petit peu. Je me sentais un peu perdu en fait sur mon bateau au milieu de l'Atlantique à me dire mais qu'est-ce qui se passe? Et puis le temps de me remettre un petit peu dans le match, de reprendre mes fichiers, de me remobiliser, de mettre la bonne toile. Voilà, et ça c'était des bons moments dans la transat. Je me suis aussi vu me remettre dans les bons paquets au moment où j'avais envie de m'y remettre, et puis aller vite quand j'avais envie d'aller vite, et être là où j'avais envie d'être. Donc non, il y a plein de points positifs quand même.
Il y a un truc que tu as souvent répété pendant la transat, c'est que tu te sentais de mieux en mieux sur ton bateau, que tu trouvais tes marques.
Faut s'amariner. Moi j'ai pas fait la CIC, hein, c'était évidemment voulu, mais il y avait un petit. Mais comme sur toutes les courses, hein, je suis un peu. En général, je fais un bon départ, mais les 48 heures après, faut un petit peu de temps pour me mettre dans ma course, dans la vie à bord, dans bien manger, dormir, des trucs basiques, mais il faut quand même que tout ça se remette en ordre de marche pour être performant, et donc c'est un peu le temps qu'il me faut, quoi.
Sur le scénario de la course, pour retenir au moins une chose, c'est que c'est sur une phase de transition que ça se joue. Et on parle beaucoup des grands bords de portants, des grands bords de vitesse où chacun essaye d'aller vite. Et finalement, c'est sur une phase de transition que les mecs se barrent, quoi. Ça reste un...
Bah ouais, c'est comme ça. C'est des situations qu'on a... Alors déjà, on traverse pas souvent dans ce sens-là. Et puis quand on traverse dans ce senslà, on accompagne les systèmes, mais on va pas les chercher ou les dépasser. Et en fait, c'était une situation un peu une situation de blocage où les systèmes bougeaient pas, ou avançaient très peu, ou à notre vitesse, ou à peine plus vite. Donc voilà, il fallait trouver le bon trou. Je sais pas trop comment il aurait fallu faire autrement. Ce qui est sûr, c'est qu'au moment de passer ce front, il y avait le Gulf Stream qui rentrait aussi dans la balance. Un état de mer qui était compliqué, où moi je me sentais pas du tout d'aller plus vite que ce que je faisais là. J'avais peur d'amimer le bateau, donc voilà.
Dans l'optique du Vendée Globe, ça veut dire que les moments cruciaux pourront aussi être des phases de transition.
Non, c'est difficilement comparable. Là, c'est vraiment des situations, moi c'est la première fois que j'ai ça. C'est pas des conditions d'un Vendée Globe, on va faire une traversée de Golfe, on va rejoindre les Alizés, on va voir un poteau noir, Sainte-Hélène. Alors c'est sûr, hein, les transitions, c'est souvent là que les choses se passent. Maintenant, voilà, c'est un truc un peu particulier. Mais au final, là j'arrive 5e, je suis à ma place, quoi. Je vais pas...
Pourquoi tu dis que t'es à ta place ?
Parce qu'avec une demi-transat au près, moi j'ai des voiles qui sont typées brise, portant, Vendée Globe, un bateau Vendée Globe. Enfin, voilà, on a vraiment travaillé pour ça. C'est vrai que sur une transat comme ça, je me serais attendu à avoir de la brise au portant, ce qu'on n'a pas eu du tout. Voilà, j'ai pas la carène, j'ai pas l'arrière de Seb ou de Charal, ou je sais pas, j'ai pas un bateau. Donc non, moi ça me va bien. Évidemment, je partais pour être en tête à l'arrivée, et c'est ce que j'avais envie de faire. J'ai pas les conditions pour ça. Voilà.
Okay, so basically, words of Thomas Ruyant, we're going to pass on to an interview with Samantha Davies, but basically he was saying that he was within that little group to compete. Upwind was not really optimal on these boats. He's very happy with his fifth place because his boat is not really made for this. His boat was really made for Vendée Globe, which is mostly downwind, and he always has a good start, but it kind of takes him a little bit of time, the first 48 hours, to get into it.
Here's Sam now.
So, yeah.
C'est parfait, merci. Ouais, ça fait du bien.
Oui.
I'm not sure if they're going straight into questions yet. Right now it's just chit chat, saying hi. She's got her champagne. We see the team in the background. That is Joseph and Jay Thompson right behind him.
Ouais,
Her
c'est à sortir.
préparateur.
C'est agréable, non ?
Génial, le kiff depuis 24 heures encore. On a eu
So now it's just chit chat. So, Pam, what did you catch anything from Thomas Ruyant that you want to translate for our viewers? Anything important? What was the highlight for you?
Well, he said, of course, they kind of, as you had pointed out earlier, they lost contact with the first two boats because they kind of fell off the back of that depression and couldn't quite get through. But he said that they had a good group and for some really nice racing and for some really nice battling with the group that he was in there with Sam and Johan and that. So still some really nice racing in the group down south that he really enjoyed. The last part, he said, was a bit more difficult, quite a lot of upwind, bad sea state, not the most enjoyable sailing, particularly I think for him because he really feels his boat isn't designed for that particular. Doesn't make him too concerned about... I think we're here for the
Here we
interview.
go with interviews with Sam. Yeah, we'll let you listen in.
Oui, c'était trop bien, ouais. Depuis depuis plusieurs jours, je monte petit à petit, une par une. J'essaie de ne pas être gourmande, mais le bateau il va super vite. Et puis j'ai doublé quelques bateaux et je vais essayer depuis une semaine, quand je croise Yoann, je dis là je vais mettre un élastique sur son tableau arrière et comme ça je vais essayer d'aller aussi vite que lui. Et puis ça marchait. Donc j'avais l'élastique accroché depuis une semaine à son tableau arrière. Et puis je ne sais pas je pense qu'il a dû avoir un petit problème ce matin. Et donc j'ai profité. J'étais en attente pour passer. Ouais.
Parce que tu disais que cette fin de course c'était un méga sprint. Vous avez choqué, bordé en permanence. Il fallait être dessus tout le temps. Ça a été quand même hyper intensif.
Oui, j'ai pas beaucoup dormi depuis. Je pense que personne n'a beaucoup dormi depuis plusieurs jours. Donc bordé, choqué. Le vent était vraiment instable. Donc pour garder le bateau lancé, les bateaux ça tartine, mais il faut être un peu dessus pour qu'il continue à aller vite. Et en plus, j'avais pas d'AIS et du coup, il y a nuit, j'étais aussi dans le slalom avec les pêcheurs, les cargos et j'avais pas tous mes systèmes anti-collision. Donc c'était un peu stressant. Donc j'ai encore moins dormi, je pense, que d'habitude. Mais comme ça, j'étais bien au réglage.
Alors, tu disais un peu c'était un grand speed test cette transat parce que vous avez été au contact avec Justine et Yoann quasiment tout le temps.
Oui, c'était génial. C'est pour préparer un Vendée Globe aussi, de passer une semaine au contact avec des autres bateaux, et pas n'importe quel bateau, avec Juju, avec Yoann. C'est des super navigateurs, des très bons bateaux, donc c'était parfait pour améliorer le réglage et aussi se motiver, parce que quand on est à plusieurs, je pense qu'on avance plus vite sur la course aussi, ça nous aidait aussi à arriver plus vite.
Alors c'était pas qu'une course de vitesse, il s'est quand même passé pas mal de choses, notamment au début, puis forcément ce fameux front. Ça a été une transat quand même assez particulière en ça.
Oui, c'était pas comme dans la brochure, mais ça on savait quand on a vu les prévisions avant de partir. Et tant mieux presque d'avoir une course qui est un peu plus longue. Pour s'habituer à la vie sur le bateau et être obligé de prendre un rythme et pas juste être dans le rouge en mode sprint parce que on arrive bientôt. Et oui, chapeau à Charlie et Boris, ils ont montré à tout le monde comment faire parce que c'est les seuls deux qui ont réussi à passer ce front et c'était merveilleux de regarder leur trajectoire aussi et de les suivre et regarder Boris. Comme on dit, audacieux. C'est incroyable d'avoir osé et d'avoir resté engagé sur cette option-là. Donc chapeau aux deux. Donc c'était magnifique. Et après nous, on avait plusieurs groupes, on avait tous nos petits bagarres. Et je pense que ça doit être bizarre à suivre la course et regarder le carton avec des bateaux partout dans l'Atlantique.
Ouais, c'était génial.
Juste une question en anglais pour nos amis qui nous suivent sur le live en anglais. Tell us about your race.
Well, it was a really good race, a long one, but really good, and I'm really happy with the result as well because I managed to kind of overtake a few boats over the last week and sail with some really good skippers like Yoann and Justine for days on end. So in having them in visual sight the whole time, and it's really good to learn how to trim the boat and to push the boat when there's other people right next to you. So it was a great race, and I was happy as well to be able to hang on to Yoann right up to the finish. And I'm not sure. I guess he probably had a little problem, and so I was close enough to take the opportunity when it arrived and sneak past him before the finish. So really happy to get sixth.
Bah, puis d'autant plus que tu as fait une super la Transat CC, c'est pareil, ça s'était hyper bien passé, donc pour toi le bilan il est top, quoi.
Oui, je suis super contente de deux transats comme ça, ça donne confiance pour le Vendée Globe et maintenant c'est bon, je suis prête pour le Vendée. En plus on est au Sables donc c'est bon, je suis juste un peu fatiguée, donc un peu de repos maintenant.
Ça fait du bien. Merci Sam.
Merci
Sam.
Thank you, Samantha. Good friend, and also we worked together during the ocean race for all the live coverage with Eurosport. So bravo to her. Really happy about how she's doing. Basically, in a nutshell, she said that the boat was very fast. She imagined putting a little elastic, I guess is how you say it in English,
Yeah,
on Yoann
yeah,
Richomme's boat, so that she could like hold on to him. She just kind of visualized this, that she just kind of like hooked up an elastic. So she imagined just being sticking behind him. She had no AIS at one point, so at the end, and she once they got closer to the coast, she was very nervous about fishing boats. That causes some stress and probably just caused her to be up more than usual, and made her push the boat more. But for 1 week, she was in contact with Juju, as they call Justine Metro, and Yo-Yo, Juju and Yo-Yo, as they call Yoann Richomme. So that was very motivating for her. She gave a big shout out, bravo, to Charlie Dallin and Boris Harriman, who were the ones who were able to pass the front. Very audacious move, she said, for Boris to go so far up north. And there she is celebrating with her team, who worked so hard. She's really said how the boat is in really like top shape, just no issues there. She's ready for the Vendée Globe after
yeah. And she said,
her podium on the Transat CIC, the race there. She's just a little tired, but she's totally ready for the Vendée Globe. Her boat is ready. She's already in Les Sables, so she's ready to go.
yeah, and she said it was really great to be in such close contact with such, the other great racers there, to really be working. She had them in her sights most of the time, to really be able to working on that boat racing and all the tiny little trimming details, just searching every little knot of speed for days on end. So really good training conditions for that fleet, for that little gang, that pack there, that it seems that Sam really profited from, to get to know her boat. And he said hanging on with that elastic just until the last moment when she was able to catapult ahead. So yeah, fantastic job, Sam. Keeping headstrong to the end.
Bravo. Showing, hopefully inspiring so many young girls to show them that they can be up there with the guys, battling it out.
Myself included. I am an inspired young girl.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. When was it that you first heard about Samantha Davies, and how has she inspired you to be where you are? Because you're doing fantastic here in France.
Well, Sam is like the original inspiration, I think, to move to France, because she's not French, but we see how integrated she is here. And when coming out here to sail, it's to sail as well, but you've also kind of got to adapt and, I guess, mingle into the French life. So Sam also sets a really good example on that side as well. But yeah, I mean, Sam was involved, I think, when she was in her early 20s, 25, in the first attempt for a female team to do the Jules Verne. And this year I'm working on a project to do this, attempt to do the same. They unfortunately dismasted in the Southern Ocean. So we're going to try and get the whole way around. So even, before Sam's Vendées, before her minis and all of that, she was involved in really incredible and inspiring sailing projects the whole way through. So yeah, her career, her trajectory from a young age is definitely kind of the pinnacle.
Yeah, for sure.
And of course,
who else was on that Jules Verne with Tracy Edwards? Was Dee Kafari? Anybody who's now with the famous project, were they on that?
No, none of the famous project previously did that particular around the globe. Okay. I can't remember the whole of the team. I think there was a few young ones. I know Sam for sure was one of the, she was the, what would you call it? The nipper.
Yeah, the rookie.
The nipper on board. But yeah, no, there hasn't been an attempt since. And although we have an amazing crew for the famous project with women like Dee, who've been around the globe countless times, no one on an ultime trimaran for the Jules Verne. So big learning experience for everyone. But
yeah, everybody should follow that project, the famous project. We did a live, actually, I participated in that for the launching of the boat that just launched,
Yeah.
what was it, Pam, a week or two ago?
Yeah, just over a week ago. Friday,
So head
Friday the
over
week
to the
before.
YouTube channel of the famous project and watch the launching of IDEC, Alexia
Yeah,
Farrier
and
project that Pam is on.
Alexia and Dee, I mean, a lot of our sailors have cut their teeth in the Vendée Globe, getting their laps around the world. So, yeah, it's here that the sailors are made.
So here we have Paprec Arkea Yoann Richomme arriving on the dock, 7th place in this New York Vendée transatlantic race, arriving the first and second place arrived during the weekend. There was a big gap, like we've spoken before, between first and second and the rest of the fleet.
No, I can
We will
hear
hear
some
some
cheering.
words. Yoann Richomme here soon. I'm dying to hear what happened there. Why was Samantha able to steal that place from him? Going straight to his daughter and family. 2 daughters. Wait, no, son and a daughter. Anyway, 2 little kids happy to see their papa. Hey, where was the kiss to the wife?
Ça va boire tout de suite comme on veut.
Champagne.
Merci.
Given by, I'm sure, somebody from the Vendée department, somebody important who offers them their champagne for arriving safely at port.
Bravo Yoann pour ta course. Ouais, merci. Ça va?
Première impression, Yoann, sur cette arrivée matinale.
Bah, il
So
fait
we
beau,
will also hear
c'est
some
cool. Écoute,
from him in English.
écoute,
well
voilà, je sais
on
pas
my
trop, c'est un
behalf.
peu les sentiments
Thank you
mitigés
so
hein, parce
much for the
que
whole
c'est pas
team.
la
Let's listen
transat
to
qui
what
m'a le
he's got
plus
to say.
excité depuis que j'en fais. C'était ma 14e, j'ai compté ce matin, ça m'a fait bizarre. Écoute, voilà, après plein de trucs qui se sont plus ou moins bien passés, donc il y a plein de détails à perfectionner. Et au global, c'est pas un si mauvais résultat que ça, 2-3 petits moments un peu en dedans, et du coup pas hyper satisfait de tout ça, mais au global, une assez bonne transat. Quoi.
Un bon étalonnage quand même, hein, avec toute la feuille de Folder.
Ouais, carrément, dans des conditions qu'on n'avait pas toujours eues, un peu plus légères que souvent, dans lesquelles nous on sait qu'on a un peu du mal, donc c'est sûr que c'est moins plaisant hein, que quand tu vas toujours vite, mais voilà, on sait que c'est des points sur lesquels on doit travailler en vue du Vendée Globe. Et voilà, ça change pas grand chose à la donne. Après ça, quand même pas mal de choses tu vois, que j'ai pu voir un peu sur plusieurs jours là, quand on a fait du portant avant les Açores, où au final des choses que j'avais pas eu le temps de me poser, de faire sur ce bateau où généralement il faut des heures quand même pour ressentir les bons réglages, nos envies, des changements et tout ça. Donc là-dessus c'était bénéfique quoi.
Et puis le match avec les filles là.
Ouais, bah c'était cool, ouais, bah vont bien les filles. Bah écoute, qu'est-ce qu'il y avait? Il y avait surtout Justine au début, et puis à la fin, Sam s'est bien réveillé, et surtout bah, nous, dès qu'il y a moins entre 10 et 15 nœuds, là on souffre pas mal. Donc c'était plutôt la fin à l'avantage de Sam. Voilà, mais une bonne bagarre avec elle, en tout cas c'était cool. On s'envoyait des petits textos de temps en temps, c'était marrant. Voilà.
Comment t'expliques ce départ de 2 concurrents seulement dans cette traversée du front?
Je pense qu'ils l'ont traversé à un meilleur endroit que beaucoup d'autres. Je pense qu'on est plusieurs à l'avoir traversé. Je pense que dans le sud, on l'avait traversé avec Justine, Seb et Clarisse. Et on s'est fait rattraper de justesse. Je sais pas, soit moi. En fait, une fois que tu passais de l'autre côté, il fallait faire genre 25 nœuds et il fallait défracter le bateau, quoi. Et c'était vraiment violent. Et du coup, peut-être qu'il fallait tenir ça un peu plus longtemps et qu'on a trop vite ralenti et du coup on s'est fait ravoir. Bon, la situation était plus compliquée dans le sud, un peu moins dans le nord et du coup bon, ils ont réussi à passer. Et bon après quand je vois ceux qu'ils avaient à côté et qui n'ont pas réussi à passer, je me dis que voilà, c'était quand même loin d'être évident. Ça ne devait pas se jouer à grand chose.
Sur la longueur, comment tu as fait pour rester dans la concentration dans le match? C'était pas mal, ça aussi envie de demander.
Ouais, je suis pas sûr que j'ai été concentré tout du long. Ouais, en fait, le plus gros défaut, j'ai envie de te dire, c'était que je pense qu'on était beaucoup à être partis dans un scénario à 9 jours, 10 jours. Tu vois, on se projetait déjà sur la suite. Et puis, comme le rythme des projets est assez intense, tu vois, on avait un peu tous envie de breaker derrière, quoi. C'était le gros morceau du printemps. Et en fait, quand tu vois le scénario qui se rallonge, mentalement, ça devenait difficile. Et du coup là j'ai pas réussi à je vais pas dire à rester dedans parce que j'étais dedans, mais en tout cas à prendre les bonnes décisions. Et voilà, il y a quelques choix qui étaient un peu différents d'habitude. Et puis voilà, l'utilisation des outils de calcul de route qui étaient un peu différentes. Et voilà, ce que me proposait l'ordi, ça me plaisait pas, mais je n'osais pas faire différemment. Et au final, voilà, enfin, il y avait une espèce de mix entre le bon sens marin et ce que l'ordi nous donnait, et j'ai pas réussi à bien faire la part des choses. Donc ça, c'était un peu un apprentissage, on va dire. C'était un peu décevant, mais c'était surtout plutôt de l'apprentissage.
Ça reste positif quand même.
C'est toujours positif. De toute façon, on va pas gagner à chaque fois. Il faut bien en laisser à Charlie un peu.
Thomas disait, quand on s'est retrouvé dans le sud avec la nouvelle configuration de météo, moi j'étais perdu pendant 24 heures, je ne savais plus quoi
mais
faire.
grave. Ouais.
Toi aussi?
Ouais, alors en fait je le sentais quand même venir depuis quelques temps. Je crois que ça avait même été mes questions avant le départ. Je voyais pas trop comment en fait on allait vraiment réussir à passer ce front. Ça me paraissait un peu ambitieux. Et en fait c'est pour ça que je m'étais décalé sud très très vite. Après la première bouée, là, le waypoint Sauver la planète, je sais pas comment il s'appelle celui-là. On s'est décalé dans le sud, enfin je me suis décalé dans le sud et j'étais prêt à faire vraiment sud en me disant mais en fait là ils vont dans un rideau et ça va pas le faire, et j'ai hésité là, enfin bon voilà, c'était un peu compliqué. Et c'est vrai que du coup ça s'est fait sur déjà 2-3 jours, c'était long parce qu'on butait dedans, ça repartait, on butait dedans, ça repartait, puis à un moment on a juste fait bah non mais en fait on va pas passer quoi. Et là il y a eu un changement de schéma qui a été un peu long à intégrer. Après à intégrer, de se dire ah ouais mais en fait là ça va être sud-Açor. Alors en plus les fichiers étant pas d'accord, si tu veux, un coup tu faisais Groenland, un coup tu faisais Madère. À un moment tu te disais bon on va où? Alors tu regardais plus très loin, tu te disais ok je vais où à 24 heures? Souvent quand on a ces scénarios, c'est pas plus mal, c'est pas mal, hein. C'est comme ça, il faut faire avec quoi. Mais ça changeait la donne. Ça change la donne du routage de la CIC ou de Lorient jusqu'à l'arrivée. Je pense qu'il y avait un routage, c'était bon sur 8 jours. Quoi. Ouais.
Voilà. Juste, Charlie disait qu'il y avait des avantages psychologiques à trouver. Est-ce que toi, tu as l'impression d'avoir...
Et il adore la psychologie, Charlie. Vas-y, il a raconté quoi?
Qu'il y avait un avantage psychologique à trouver et à chercher ici.
Alors là, si ça l'intéresse, tant mieux. Je vois pas le truc. Le miracle vendéen, c'est le truc, ça qu'il faut trouver.
Que tu es en mer avec ce bateau-là, est-ce que tu as l'impression d'être dans les temps à 6 mois du vent?
Ouais, carrément, oui. Ça pour le reste, il n'y a pas de souci, le bateau il est vraiment bien. Hein?
Merci.
Je t'ai récupéré ta question. Tu t'es dit on va mal finir.
C'est pas parti.
Non, il y a beaucoup de... Ouais, le bilan il est hyper positif du bateau. J'ai encore une fois très peu bricolé. Trouvé deux, trois petites bêtises, tu vois, qu'on va corriger. Ça, il y en aura toujours. Là, à la fin, on a découvert en fait que j'avais rempli toute la section avant. J'avais un double ballast à l'avant. C'est pour ça que le bateau accélérait plus. C'est pour ça que je pense que je me suis fait passer cette nuit aussi. Donc, petit souci là-dessus. Qui est rien, mais en fait qui explique quand même des choses. Tu vois, il n'y a pas d'un seul coup se faire doser de 2 nœuds. C'était quand même super bizarre. Du coup, voilà, et après l'avantage psychologique, je sais plus. Non, mais bon bilan, écoute, non, j'ai hâte d'avoir. J'espère que la deuxième version de foil apportera un petit plus. Ça peut-être comblera un de nos manques. À voir. J'ai hâte de découvrir ça. Ça va être dans 10 jours pour nous. Ouais.
Yoann, tu nous fais une réponse en anglais sur le film de ce cours, Tell us about your race.
Ah oui, it's in English. Well, this was a longer race than we expected. We thought we were going for 9 days, and it took us 12. So we had a big weather change in the middle of the course where we thought we were going to get ahead of a front, and we didn't. And so we ended up in a very different scenario, and that was tough on the mind to get ourselves back into a new race, a different race. And although that was very interesting, it's very unusual for us, and it's all very good preparation for the Vendée Globe in 6 months. And a good week, probably 7 days of speed test with Sam Davies. I let her win because she's a girl. I'm kidding. No, no, she's very fast, so I think it was good for me. And we had we had conditions that were very much to our disadvantage. So that was good for me to also try and learn and keep on fighting in those conditions, even though it's not, our best weather window.
Et Yoann, est-ce que tu peux le faire pour Radio Sable en chaud-moi, s'il te plaît?
Ah ouais, c'est quoi? C'est comme ça, c'est ce qu'ils font.
Eh ben voilà, c'était super. Merci.
Merci.
Okay, so there you have it. Basically, out of the French, for those who need a little translation, he said he's getting a version 2 phone coming in 10 days. He hopes that will make all the difference, because once the wind dropped down between 10 to 15 knots during the night, that's when his boat and he suffered, and that's where Samantha got some advantage with her boat. It is the champagne shower. He said basically that there's some details to work on for sure, but globally he's happy with his finish. He said it was very violent during the front there. It was very complicated, but he believes it was luck that some of them got in front of that. That's how. Pam, what did you get out of his French interview?
Yeah.
Any highlight?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting how he commented on the psychological side of things. What they had, at the end of the day, we do these routings that shoot off across the Atlantic, but a routing is a routing. And so when you're doing your routings for these races, you're kind of preparing psychologically for what you think, what you imagine is coming. And then when they didn't pass, they didn't get onto that front, as he said, they were kind of it was unexpected a little bit, I think, for the sailors who were left behind, and so they almost had to re-evaluate their situation and reset their mindset for a new race format that they didn't see coming. And he said that was quite a challenge.
Let me interrupt you there, sorry Pam, for a second. We're actually going to go offline, but we're looking at the tracker here to see how far Justine is. We will end this live now, but we will come back with another live for Justine's arrival, followed by Medallia, Piper, and Bure-Vallée, Louis Burton later on this morning. Thank you, Pam, for being with us this morning on such a short notice. It was great to comment this arrival with you. Have a great day, and
nice.
Yeah, thanks everybody for
enjoy the rest of the finishes.
Yeah, thank you, Pam. Thank you everybody for watching, and do come back here on the YouTube channel of Vendée Globe for more arrivals coming soon. Thank you. Have a good coffee break. See you soon. Ciao. Thank you, Pam. You're awesome. Merci à toute l'équipe. Vous étiez au top.